Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Civil Lining Nation. And this is episode 3. And tonight my guest is Robert. Robert has 22 years of sobriety. So welcome, Robert, to Civil Lining Nation.
Thank you for having me, Lorraine. It's a plum pleasing pleasure and a privilege to even be asked to share my story.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where you feel like you don't fit in, you never fit in, you feel like you're the black sheep, and then you get into recovery and you find the rest of the herd.
Exactly, so, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, tell us how you got started in recovery, Robert.
Well, I actually got started around 1988. I had went to prison, came home, and met a girl.
It's always about a girl.
Yeah, I met a girl.
A girl or a boy.
Yeah, I met a girl that was in recovery. And because I used to wonder, where are you going? Where you go every day? Every day I see you going somewhere. You're always in a rush. And she told me she was in recovery. And I'm like, okay. So what do I need to do? She said, you probably gonna have to get in recovery too. So
you thought, did you need recovery or you just following her?
I needed recovery.
Okay.
Not simply because somebody always told me, that I needed to change some things. Mm-hmm. It was mostly because I know internally that I was doing things outside of myself that I know inside that I shouldn't have been doing.
Okay.
The drinking and the drugging got to the point to where at one time it was a solution.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because
it seemed that if I had some issues, somebody stepped on my toes or offended me or something, then I'd just go take a drink or a drug and everything be fine.
You all chill.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Whatever's going on with them ain't got nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. But I come to find out that I was drinking at them. And I was covering up my feelings, medicating my feelings, not expressing myself after knowing I got boundaries set and they done crossed these boundaries, but they don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People do things and they don't be doing them to me or towards me. They just be doing things. They have no idea that I didn't expect them to treat me that way, but those were my expectations. And oftentimes what I've found out in recovery is that I can expect some people to do some things, but they may not be capable of doing what I'm expecting them to do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it gets, that bleeds into relationships and everything else.
So let's start at the beginning of your addiction. Did you start with drinking, drugging? Let's start at the beginning so you can paint a picture for me there.
Okay. I would say, I guess I was about 10 or 12 maybe. And my dad had left my mom with 8 kids. And messed me up. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Love my dad, still love him today. He's no longer with us. But I bounced back and forth between my dad and my mom. For a long time, mom wouldn't let me go live with dad. So she finally said, okay, you keep messing with me, you bothering me about it, going on. Well, I got with him, and that's when the drug thing started.
Was he an addict? Is that something that you just picked up on your own?
I kind of picked up on my own once I was hanging out with him and the guys that was over there going to school. We drinking Thunderbird, Wild Irish Rose, and, taking pills and stuff because it was during the busing era when they were, busing us to white schools and stuff like that. And a lot of us was not content with that. We was okay with it, but we wasn't okay. So on the bus, on the way to the white school, we drinking wine, smoking weed, and everything else. You know, and that led to me getting in trouble at school. In fact, getting kicked out of school because I was drinking.
What grade were you in?
I was in the 11th grade.
Okay.
Actually, when I got kicked out. But the drinking and drugging really started when I started hanging out living with my dad. Because I would go out with my dad at 15. I'm at the little hole in the walls of the club with him at 15.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Drinking and smoking weed with guys that's 30, 40 years old. And at some point, I drank them. You know what I mean? We shooting pool and doing a number of other things. But in the end, when I felt like I got tired, I go move back with mom to kind of recover.
Get a break.
Yeah, to get a break from it. And so I can get my grades back up and all that. But mom wasn't a drinker. She wasn't a smoker. I remember mom crying one night, and my stepdad, I thought my stepdad had did something to her, right? So I woke my two brothers up and told them, I said, man, Johnny done did something to mama. She crying. Let's go down there and help her, right? So I got a bed flat, right? I got a bed flat, and we tipping down the stairs trying to tip up on them. We turned the corner. Mama said, what y'all doing? So I told her, I said, we thought Johnny had did something to you. We were coming to help you. Mama said, baby, I went out drinking and I'm just drunk. I'm like, what? You crying because you drunk? Anyway, we went on back upstairs. You know, that was the only episode I knew about mom ever drinking. And, but for me, when I got bored or tired of mom, I'd go back to my dad's and I'm back drinking and drugging. Now, mind you, I was still flipping out drinking and drugging while I was at mom's because apparently I had a problem and didn't know it.
Didn't know what the problem, how to label that problem.
Right. Then I thought that's what we do. Because growing up with my dad, I was always around the pimp players, the hustlers, the gamblers, the pool sharks, and all that type of thing. And I wanted that lifestyle. Well, that lifestyle included the drugs and the alcohol. And when those guys disappeared or were gone for a while, and I wondered where they were, when they came back, they didn't tell me that they had went to prison. That's the part that they didn't tell us.
Did they go to prison because of drugs?
They either went to prison because of drugs. You know, it's like they say, I didn't always get in trouble when I drank. But when I got in trouble, it had something to do with a drink or a drug. So it was that type of thing. And it progressed for a period of time. And I found myself working a job with my dad and decided that I was going to pull a stunt. I told the people that I had lost my paycheck and they cut me a nothing. Me, I went straight to the liquor store and cashed both of them at the same time. When I got there that Monday, they fired me. I didn't know what to do. I had to walk home. So, and at the time, I had been drinking and drugging. At this point, I guess I was like 19, 20, maybe 21, probably 21. And had got my own apartment, was living with a girl, and she was pregnant. And I lost my job. I got scared. I got scared, man. So as most alcoholics and addicts do, we run from our problems, right? So I joined the army and didn't tell her. I just figured, I joined the army, try to get myself together, then sent for her, in time before the baby was born. And well, it didn't work out that way. When I sent for her, she couldn't be found. But the baby had been born and the baby was with her mom. But my mom was in touch with my child and the girl's mom. So I came around to get a furlough after basic training and went home and met my child.
How old was your child?
At that time, she was barely a year old because she was born in December 6, 1976. And I went into the service around September of 76. She's 47 now. Got 3 boys. One that graduated college, another about to graduate college. And Marquis is like 10 or 11.
Oh.
Yeah, anyway,
awesome.
I called myself gonna send for her, but she couldn't be found. She was out with a band or something and left the baby with her mama. So I come home, find out all this, and when time comes for me to go back to the service, I don't want to go because I done got so attached to my baby. Yeah. And my mom is like, boy, they gonna be looking for you. What you gonna do? You can't take the baby and run AWOL. Just don't worry about it. Go on back. We'll take care of the baby. We'll keep you posted on what's going on. And so that's what I did. I went on back. It was during the Vietnam era, but they wasn't sending no troops back to Vietnam. So all I was doing was getting up in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock, running 5 or 10 miles, working out, eating good. Around lunchtime, all I'm doing is getting drunk, getting high. And I mean, every day, I was sending money home to mom and buying those bonds, saving bonds and stuff like that. But the addiction got to the point to where I told my first sergeant, man, I can do this at home. He said, what do you mean? I said, man, I'm getting up, working out, eating good, then getting drunk and high every day. I can do this at home. And so he said, what you want to do? I said, man, I can't do this. I need to get out. I didn't know that if I'd have told them that I was struggling with drugs and alcohol, they'd have put me in treatment.
But you didn't know that you were struggling.
I did not know. I knew I was struggling, but I didn't know
that it was a disease.
I didn't know exactly.
It was something that you couldn't control.
Exactly. Exactly. Because at that time it was alcohol and heroin.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, and whatever else I can get my hands on. And mind you, the drugs overseas are so much stronger and purer than the drugs in the United States. They really are. They.
It's not cut.
It's not at all. Not at all. So I first started, worked up the papers and let me come home, 78 or 79. And that's when I knew I had a problem because I was had these cravings. It wasn't no problem for me to drink. I always say I didn't have a problem drinking. I just had a problem living life sober and couldn't live life sober. So I found out that when I found out how I could get some drugs in the United States, particularly heroin, it pissed me off. I didn't know where to scope drugs.
Oh, you didn't know where to get them.
I didn't know where to get them here, like I did overseas.
Okay.
So when I did find out how to get them, I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed and mad. I was spending my money on this stuff, and it was nothing like the stuff that I was used to getting.
Mm-hmm.
And it required more.
Mm-hmm. That's why I stopped doing crack. It changed. It
Yeah.
wasn't the real stuff that came out in the beginning. And it was like, this ain't the same. It ain't potent. So I was able to quit.
Good.
Yeah, because it wasn't, like what you're saying.
Yeah, it didn't seem like, I know I always seem like I'm chasing that first high, that first hit.
We do.
You know what I'm saying? But I can't just say dual addicted.
Mm-hmm.
I was quadruple addicted. I'm still recovering from everything that make me feel good.
Right.
And everything that make me feel bad. Because some of the same stuff that make me feel good make me feel so bad afterwards.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
When you crush.
What they call it, the incomprehensible demoralization thing hits you, and that void is there, and you don't know how to fill it.
That darkness, that hole.
Yeah, it's a hole.
Yes.
There's a song one of the guys sings, said, what you have is a hole in your soul, and it hasn't healed.
With all this stuff.
Exactly. And I've learned over the years that that's a God-sized hole. And that's the only thing that can fill it.
Yes.
And it takes a daily maintenance from the spiritual aspect to fill that hole. Because it still comes sometimes, Sometimes I'm sitting there and all of a sudden I'm hit with this wave of depression, and this unworthiness thing hits me, and I'm like, So I get up, call somebody, or just get out the house, get out of that spot I'm in.
I tell people I don't do well by myself, and they don't understand that. It's like I think, and that's not good.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
that's not good.
Yeah, and because I remember first coming into the room, they would tell me, you need to change everything.
Yes, sir.
Particularly my thinking.
And how do you change everything you guys talking about?
Really.
Right?
Really. Right. Because all you got is the friends that you know. And that's what they were talking about. I need to change people, places, and things.
Yeah. Then for me, I get that loneliness sometimes from my friends they were people that I grew up with.
Right.
And now I don't have that connection. And then you think about, I had some good times with them.
Right.
But I know that, the ones that are still here, I can't bring back that time.
Right. Right.
Because I can't roll with them like that.
No. I mean, it's when you in that spot or in that place of darkness, and you say to God, I really want to quit. I need to quit. Can you help me? I will go to jail. Every time. I didn't know that did. Now I'm in jail. I'm mad at him.
I didn't tell you
God didn't say and what I'm in here for? But I'm on violation. I'm on parole violation, probation violation, and that's how I hit every time.
Yeah.
And that's where I would go. And I know now that's what his way of saying, son, this is where I got to put you for this time being, so you can clear your mind and you can feel me and you can hear me. Because when I'm in this fog, I'm in these drugs and this alcohol, I can't hear God. I mean, even if I do, I'm batting him down. I'm not even considering, that thing where He told me to go right, but I went left. You know what I'm saying?
Because that couldn't possibly be right.
You couldn't, because alcohols and that complicate everything. This is too simple.
Yeah, same with this program.
It's got to be more to it than that.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's just simply still have to change the way I think. And my recovery is contingent upon my spiritual maintenance. Every morning, I say the step prayers in the morning, the 3rd step prayer, the 7th step prayer, and the serenity prayer. And then I got my own little prayer that I add in where I'm praying for members of recovery, members of the 12-step program. And some of them I call by name because they're personal to me. Now, they may not know it, but God knows it.
Yes.
And that's what I know is this, that when I don't do that, before I leave the house, man, I'm in trouble, Lorraine. The minute I get on 75 or one of those freeways or even going down Preston and somebody jumps in front of me, I'm Dr. Jekyll. I'm back to Dr. Jekyll. They going on about their business. I'm still in the car, fussing and cussing. They 2 miles up the road. So I learned to do that before I leave the house. And it got to I'm so disciplined with it that if I haven't done it, before I get out of the parking lot of my apartment, I'm doing it in the car on the way because I had to have it.
Did you get sober before you went to prison? Was it prison or jail? What?
Well, I went to prison a couple of times for. I had marijuana. I had a marijuana case. Then I had an assault case, and then I had this case where I had injury to an elderly.
Injury to a what?
Injury to the elderly.
Oh, okay.
And it was interesting because the elderly person that they say I had injured was my grandmother.
Okay.
And the situation was where my daughter was crying. Well, this is the girlfriend I'm with now. This is her daughter, but she was a baby, so all she know was me as dad. Anyway, she was crying. We both trying to get to her. We kind of bump into each other and collide. Mother falls and breaks her hip.
Okay.
So she get to the hospital and they asked her what happened, and she told them. She told them. And then they wanted my name. So when they gave my name and saw that I was on probation and parole, they gave me the state. The state of Texas gave me the case. Now, they gave me a deferred adjudicated probation, which meant that the case carried 25 to life. And if I didn't live down to probation, they could give me 25 to life. Well, I didn't live down to probation. And I was riding with a friend, supposedly a friend, that supposedly had borrowed his sister's car, mind you. And we riding, and then I guess I've been riding with him for maybe an hour or 2, maybe 3. We stopped here at different places. Then I noticed that the back window is knocked out, the little portal. And I'm like, man, what happened? Oh, man, and she locked the keys in the car or something, and she had to break the window to get in or something. I'm like, oh, man, come on, man. Really? So at this point, I'm kind of discombobulated. I'm mad with him, but my addiction is saying I got to feed my addiction. So we keep rolling. We keep rolling. End up in Addison out here, and the police look behind me, and it's 20 police cars behind us. And I'm like, man. So I go to jail, and I got the probation violation and the parole violation under the Judifer thing, facing 25 to life. And all I can remember thinking is, it's over. It's over. Whatever, it's over. Everything. Because I'm thinking I'm finna get to 25 to life. Anyway, I go to court. I'm praying to God. It take me a month or so to get to court, maybe 3 months. I'm praying to God every day. God, I can't do no 20.
How old are you?
I'm 46 at the time, Lorraine.
Wow. Yeah.
46. Been drinking and drugging up to that point. And I'm telling God, I can't do no 25. How am I supposed to do that? Anyway, they end up giving me 10, Lorraine. And you know what? I told God, I can't do 10 years. He just to save me from 25 to life. And he give me 10. I'm like, I can't do no 10 years, Lord. What are you doing? What, get me out of here. You know, anyway, I take the 10 years and my magic magnifying mind is thinking about the time that I had been to prison before, where I do 6 months, 8 months, year and a half, maybe 2. And I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. That second year done roll around, I'm like, okay, Lord, what's going on? I'm still here. You usually get me out of here by now. What's going on?
What are you waiting on?
You know, I'm like, what is going on? So I'm addressing issues in the prison that inmates have to deal with. You know, they don't want to let you out for recreation at a certain time. And they feeding this horrible food. So I'm writing grievances and kind of getting the people together. We kind of getting some solidarity and some unity. And some things will start to happen. Well, the big wigs don't like it, so they put me in what's called high security. And because I wasn't in there acting bad or anything, wasn't in no fights or nothing like that. My fights were with the pen against the establishment and the system. So they put me in high security, which meant that I was going to be in a cell with another man 24 hours a day, just me and him, and showering in that same cell. That was horrendous in a sense, because there was no privacy, there was no shower curtain. You had to makeshift shower curtains, you know, and put sheets up to try to divide, you know, the space. Anyway, that was not a good look. That was not a good look. And me, I'm praying every day and I'm talking out loud to God. And I go to recreation one day. They let me out to go to recreate because you're supposed to get 2 hours every day to go out and recreate. Sometimes you don't get it. But this particular day, they let me out. When I come back, the dude was gone. So now it's just me and God. And the 12 steps in my
So you had a 12-step book where you can read and do all this?
Yeah, I had all that stuff.
So you started doing it on your own?
I started doing it because I had remembered in '88 when I was chasing this girl. I was chasing this girl. I said, this is what I need to do.
She would go to those meetings.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Matter of fact, the time that I was in and out, me and her would get back together because my mom and my family loved this girl and her child. And she was white, which didn't make no difference to us. No way. We just love people. And they would be in touch and send me letters and postcards and pictures and, you know, stuff like that. And when I get out, I get back with her and we'll do something real crazy. Something go on, something happen, and we get back on the drugs. Anyway, we eventually, when I had to do this 10, that severed that.
Okay.
That severed that.
So that's how you got. So being in prison was similar to being in a rehab.
For me.
Yes.
Yeah, it is similar to being in a rehab. That's the place for those real alcoholics and real addicts that have prayed that sincere prayer to God, I want to quit. That's where you go. Because in the 12-step program, as you're reading, discovering whether you're an alcoholic or not, they have certain degrees of alcoholics. You know, the weekend drinker, the sometime drinker, the social drinker, on down the line.
Yes.
But there's a spot in there for one particular guy, unless he is locked up,
yes,
he will die. That was me, Lorraine. Because after the second or third year, and I'm asking God, why am I not still here? Why am I still in prison? It was as if he said to me, son, you come in here, you get back with me, we got a beautiful relationship. When you get out, you leave me in prison. You don't take me with you. That's basically what I heard and what I felt.
That was like your spiritual awakening.
That was a major spiritual awakening. And okay, I guess now at that point I'm at like 7 years in. And I just finally, he granted me the grace and the serenity and the wisdom to accept that thing that I couldn't change. And what I couldn't change was the 10 years. He done said to me, you do these 10 years, you're going to be okay. And I got out in 2012. Mm-hmm. It's 2024. And I'm okay.
Sometimes we don't see the reason that he have things happen in our life until we actually get through them.
Right.
And once we get through it, the most horrible thing that we can think could possibly happen to us, we get through that thing and then we see.
Yeah, and it's interesting is those times when I was blaming God, he was allowing my heart's desire. You know, that's what I desired to do, was get high, get drunk, pass out, and get up in the morning and do it all over again. You know, week in, week out. You know, be doing good all week, Lorraine. And soon as payday started approaching, stomach go to bubbling, I get the taste in my mouth come back. You know, especially if you're getting paid every 2 weeks. You got time to kind of dry out and regroup.
Yeah.
But when payday started rolling around, Lord.
Yeah,
it started all over. It started all over again. And I ain't gonna do this no more. I said I wasn't gonna do this.
You broke, you ain't gonna do it anymore as soon as that paycheck come in.
Paycheck comes back on out there and do the same thing again. Because I didn't have the tools to stop. I didn't know that it was a disease.
And it's sad, like you said, it tells us in our literature that some people, they have to be locked up. It's either death institutions.
Jails, institutions of death. Mm-hmm. And that's what it says. And
it says that.
It's interesting. It's very interesting and amazing that the literature started out in 1935 and is relevant today enough for him to put it in there that unless he is locked up, he gonna die. You know, because I can go through the literature and say, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me. When I got to that,
that's me right there.
That's me right there, because the proof is in the pudding. Mm-hmm. I was locked up. It was the only times that I could stay sober long enough to start feeling again, because no feelings. You say you keep some. You don't have any morals at some point. You say you do, but in actuality, Depending on what it is, you don't.
Well, you find with everything except when it comes to, I was fine with everything except when it came to my drug and alcohol.
Right.
Everything else, I'm a good person. But when that got in the mix, it changed everything.
Yeah, it changed everything to the point where when payday did come, I know I got a car note, I know I got rent, and I go get high first. First, I don't put. I may take my mama some money and say, "Hold this, don't let me come get it." Right?
Hey, give me my money. You know that money I told you to hold on. Yeah, I need it.
Well, here all of it, because
and then you get mad. I'm tired of you not gonna take all this money.
Right, exactly.
And leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
I know.
Exactly.
I know.
That's the way it was.
I know.
But now I'm invited to family functions.
Yes.
And when I don't show up, they want to know what's going on, what's wrong.
What's wrong?
And the first thing they say, "Oh, you must be doing something for the program," because
I love it.
Yeah, because I go to Wilma Hutchins on Sundays and carry the message down there to the guys on Sundays. And we got to the point where now we got enough guys where I don't have to go every Sunday. But at one point I was going every Sunday. And I'd leave Wilma Hutchins and go to Mom's and visit Mom on Sunday. And my dear, who is 98.
I love it.
Yeah, who is 98, and
That's the one that they put you in jail because of.
Yeah, she had went to the court and filed what is called a non-prosecuting affidavit, and the state still convicted me of it.
So you get to visit her too.
I get to visit her too. And when I don't show up, she calling. Where you at? What happened? Yeah, because they know if I'm not there by say 9:00 on Sunday evening, they know I probably didn't go to Wilma Hutchins.
Yeah.
Or I was tired and went on home. And Mama or Mother one gonna call me and ask me, "Am I okay?" Because I didn't show up.
I love it.
You know what I mean? And it's a
what a blessing to get your family back.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean I always had them. I didn't know it.
You left them. They didn't leave you.
Same thing with God. He didn't leave me because I know now that when those pistols misfired and when that car flipped over 3-4 times and when I'm in this 66 Mustang coming off of 45 going around the curve to get to 30 and it jumps over the thing and lands on the freeway on the bottom on I-20 going the other way, and I'm still here. Yeah.
Robert, man, I can talk to you forever. I love this chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing with Silver Lining Nation. Guys, I hope you enjoy Robert's story as much as I have. I mean, you've touched my heart.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
I really, you've been my blessing tonight, and just want you to know that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Man, I can't take no credit, man, because I learned that when I go to, I'm doing good. God slapped me and say, "Boy, watch out there now." Because I mean, I have certain things. God's gonna do what He says He's gonna do, but I got to do something too.
You got to do your role.
I got to do
your part.
I got to do what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that's honor Him, do my maintenance, talk to another alcoholic and addict. And when I'm asked to share my story, share my story. Don't be apprehensive. You know, the butterflies were there for a minute and I'm like,
no, it's so easy. We just chat.
Yeah.
That's all we do.
And don't look at the camera.
No, don't look at the camera, just chat.
Right.
But guys, we're going to wrap it up. And